Alright, YouTube, got myself a hog. That's right, got a Nighthawk 650 for free. Last time it ran was 1987, and as you can see, it's going to need a lot of work to get running again. But if everything goes according to plan, in this video will be its first start in about 40 years. Before I go tearing it all apart, let's really take it in. Take in the years of grime, and you can see the intake tubes have shrunk just from years of sitting. A bunch of buildup on the carbs, got to go through those. It's a shaft driven bike, as you can see. Basically all in one piece, besides rough seat and blinkers that have fallen apart, but that's okay. Has stock exhaust still. I don't know what I'm going to do with this bike. Maybe a cafe racer type of build or something. We'll see. These aren't really worth too much, so it's not one to restore and hold on to or something like that. This is one to build something cool out of. It's got 14,300 miles, so not too many miles for an old bike. It's got kind of like a retro-y, well, I guess it wouldn't be retro, but this will be futuristic for back then, of a speedometer and tachometer. It looks pretty cool. I'm going to try to hook a battery and see. Oh, it's got a gear indicator too? That's pretty cool. What are you doing? Step one is to get the seat off and probably get the tank off. I need to either let this soak with some PB Blaster or something like that because the key is not working in it. I'm hoping it's the correct key for that tank, but if not, I'm going to have to drill it out to see what type of shape the tank is in. Alright, nice. So there's the fuel line right there, and that thing is super hard, so I got to snip that. And here's the vacuum for like the little shutoff valve thing, and it looks like something cut that or it just broke years ago. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's actually liquid in this tank, which is really scary because I do not know what it's going to look like. Doesn't look too bad under here. Hopefully I'll be able to get that tank opened and then see what it looks like in there. Hopefully it's not too bad, not too rusty, but it's a 40-year-old bike. I ended up getting the carbs off, and I didn't film much of it because it was very tough, and there was just a whole bunch of prying and me getting upset. But now we're gonna open them up and see what they look like. Tighten and loosen, tighten and loosen. Got all the bolts out for the bowls. Ooh, that one's on there. Ooh, it's not bad. Not bad. Come on. Not bad at all. There it goes. Yeah, I'll take that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so they are not bad at all. I wasn't expecting them to be too bad because this should be way before ethanol fuel and all that, so yeah, looks good. I got a rebuild kit for the carbs just because, you know, they've been sitting for 40 years, probably rebuild them, but I'm gonna put that in, and I'll probably jet them too because I am not putting that air box back on. I tore it up into pieces. I do not know how you get it out in one piece, but yeah, I'm gonna put pod filters on it, and I'll probably do an exhaust too, so I'm gonna look up what size jet I should probably get, and I'm gonna do that while the carbs are out. As you guys can see, I broke these carbs down. I ultrasonic cleaned them and they came out pretty good. Still need a little light cleaning, but they don't have to be perfect. Let's be honest here. But yeah, not bad. I'm gonna blow through them all with compressed air, make sure they're all cleaned out. Clean the jets and everything. But yeah, just make sure they're all cleaned out and it's gonna be running good. Got my rebuild kits over here. And I ordered jets because I'm going to be running pod filters, but those will come in another day. So I'll just install the jet kit another day. Right now, we just want to get this thing started since it hasn't ran in 40 years. But I'm going to get all these together. The one thing I'm missing is, of course, the fuel feed, which broke right there. So I ordered some on Amazon to try to figure out one that will fit. Hopefully one of those works, and then that will be upgraded. The whole reason I broke them all down was to replace these O-rings, just to make sure that it doesn't leak. And of course this one broke. So that's unfortunate, but it's okay. We'll figure out a replacement and it'll work. To add a little bit of coolness, I Cerakoted the tops of the carburetors. This one was all pitted, so that one's going to go on the inside, along with the rails right there and right there. So that'll look pretty cool. I'm excited to get them all together and see how they look. And here's all the carbs. They're looking pretty good. Now I just gotta wait for the center feed fuel to come in from Amazon, and hopefully it fits, and then I can reassemble them completely and throw them on the bike. If these cylinders still work after cleaning them out and adding fluid, that will be a miracle. The brake one will definitely get replaced before it goes on the road, but this is just to have front brakes for right now. So I did not have my mic on for these couple of steps, but I ended up getting the carbs back on. Had to spray it with silicone spray, and I ended up using that 2x4 and that hammer and putting it right here and tapping it on. That ended up getting them all the way on there. Got them all back together. The Cerakoted tops look pretty good, and they came out pretty clean. And the rest of the bike, I power washed it, and it came out decent. You know, it's still a very old bike, but you can see it's just faded, but pretty clean. It does only have 14,000 miles, so not bad. But now I just have to get fuel hooked up to it right here, and then we should be ready for the first start. All right, we should be about ready for the first start. Got power. Let me just check the oil really quick. Definitely has oil. We'll consider that good. Ooh. Let's try it. I said, oh. Alright, let that starter sit for a second. Let me pull some plugs, see how they look. So I got some new plugs, threw those in. Let's see if it starts now. Alright, here's where I got power going to the bike for the ignition and everything. Ground, and then power going straight to the starter because this button's no longer working, it seems. So after cranking and cranking yesterday, we finally had a successful first start. I let that sit overnight, and it seems that the carbs aren't leaking because there's no leaks. So that's good. The whole reason I had to crank it forever, the whole reason I had to crank it forever was because this was getting airlocked and not actually feeding fuel to the carbs. So once I figured that out and actually got fuel to them, after a few tries, it started up. Now I just need to get it basically ready to drive, which is brakes working. I ended up getting the clutch working. Don't mind him. Would you give me those M&Ms? Alright, just wanted to give you guys a little update. I've been doing some random little bits to the bike, and it's been coming together. So I got the pod filters on. I know probably a lot of you guys will hate these, but I'm going to try them out. I hated that air box. You can't really get it in or out. It's a very stupid design. And these rubber things were all messed up anyways and shrunk. There's my pile of trash from this bike. I got a new, well not new, but a used rear tire for it, because it definitely needs one. And we put a new front tire on yesterday. So it's got good front tire, we'll have a good rear tire. Got to still power wash the inside of the tank. Vinegar's been sitting in it for like 3 or 4 days now, so once I power wash it, it should knock all the rust out and yeah, be ready to be put on hopefully. I got a fuel line already ran. I'm just going to cut it to length once I get the tank on. Got new grips on, just Amazon, $9 ones. Got some Honda mirrors from Amazon on it. Got a new front master cylinder, or I guess master cylinder for the brakes. This line is reused, but these 2 bottom lines are new from Amazon. They were like $9. They were 24-inch long ones if you need them. But the bottom lines were clogged and I could not get them to unstick. So I ended up getting a new master and new bottom lines. So now the front brakes work. Rear brakes are drum, so they already work. It's just a little sticky. Just need to probably lubricate it or something, lubricate the spring or add some more tension to the spring or new spring or whatever, then that'll work. I put these new turn signals on the front. Right now they light up, but they do not blink. So I need to get to the bottom of that. And I put Grom ones on the rear, and they don't light up. They did, but now they don't. So I got to figure that out, and that'll probably be the no blinking issue. But I do like this style one. I'll probably order some more of these. I think they were $15 just to match in the rear. I also cut up the old air box so everything can mount back where it's supposed to. You can see this inside filter right here. You kind of have to bend it out of the way of the frame, but then it works. All filters somewhat work. I'm really excited to take this thing for the first drive. Hopefully I don't need to jet it and it runs okay with the pod filters, but that's probably not going to be the case. The jets are supposed to come in today, so that would just be pulling the tank back off and then pulling the carbs off and jetting them and then putting them back on. So that shouldn't be too tedious if it needs to be done. And here is the inside of the tank. This lock's working every time now, works smooth. It was stuck, it was gummed up on the inside right here, but not anymore after the vinegar. And yeah, it's just scary in there. But it's not leaking, so that's good. So hopefully that cleans up pretty good and it'll be usable. I got a new petcock just because they're so cheap. And it comes with a screen filter that goes over here. So that will block out any large pieces of rust or anything. So between cleaning the tank and using this, we should be good. Alright, so I got it warming up over here to heat the oil up. And once it gets up to temp, I'll turn it off and drain the oil and do a change before we get it ready for the first ride. Got the rear tire on, got a plate on it. I'm going to take it on a road test and see how it is. Got the battery zip tied in place for now. So my carburetor jet kit came in the mail, so I'm going to install it right now. I took it for a test drive with the carbs, just all stock stuff on it, and of course I have the pod filters that I mentioned. And it was a little bit hesitating in the mid to upper RPMs, so I'm gonna assume this jet kit will eliminate that and make it run smooth throughout the whole rev range. So I've already done this one, so I know how to do it, so I can show you guys this one. So first things first, of course, take the top off. All right, don't lose the spring. And then you're gonna pop the needle out. Inside there, it has like a kind of like a star and a Phillips in the middle. And what you're gonna do is push in and push down and turn. It has reliefs where it can pull out right there. So push in. Oh. I pushed in slightly and now it's off kilter, so now it falls out. You can see where the reliefs are, and then it sits where it's grooved right here. And then the needle just pops out. My kit came with 2 washers per needle, so 1, 2. Put those on, and now just reassemble that. You do not want to pinch the diaphragm. All right, so I'm gonna reinstall with the spring and do that for the rest of these, and then I'll show the jets. So for the jets, you got the pilot jet right here. And the main jet end. And I lost it. So here's the main jet end. Should be pretty clean since I just went through everything, and it is. And here's the new one. So it's as easy as tightening it down. Now the pilot jet, gotta flip it over to get it out. Got it out. This should be clean as well since I just cleaned everything. Looks perfect. And here's the new one that's gonna go in. It's as easy as dropping it in and tightening it down. But that's it for the jets. Next thing I'm going to do is adjust these mixture screws to make sure they're all 2.5 turns out and start from there, and yeah, these will be ready to go back on. So after driving it with the jet kit on it, it was running really rich now in the mid to upper RPMs. So I ended up taking the little spacers off of the needle and put it back together with the bigger jets in the bottom still. And now it's running perfect through the whole rev range. So I'm very excited about that. Now there is one last thing, hopefully, that I have to fix, and that's these front fork seals. They blew out basically all the fluid on my test drives, and also I'm missing the speedometer cable because I have a new one coming in. But besides those 2 things, everything else is working and everything else is good. Also, on the other side, the valve cover is starting to leak a little bit, which, and right there, which is normal for a 40, 50-year-old engine. So that will probably be addressed in the future. But for now, to get it inspected, I need to pull the front wheel off again and pull these forks out and rebuild them. I got the front forks all broken down. I cleaned it up a little bit, messed up the inspection sticker, but it's still somewhat there. But I got them cleaned up. Now I just gotta wait for the seals to come in. I'm leaving the old seals on so I know which way everything went. I'm gonna pull these things off and pull them down rather than going up, because there's all this little pitting that might mess up the new seals, so put the new seals on from the bottom. New seals on the forks, and forks are all installed. I'm about to put the brakes back on, but don't mind the dirty workbench. I got brand new front brake pads for it, because the other ones are probably original or very close to original. So might as well throw some new ones on and it will be good to go. Last step, remove this, take the clutch cover off, put some clutch springs in it because it might be slipping a little bit at the upper RPMs. Out with the old, in with the new. And inside of the engine is super clean, so that's good. That's what happens when it never gets ridden in 40 years. So the bike is now complete. Got the front fork seals on. They still leak a little bit, but it's very minimal now. What else did I do? The stiffer clutch springs are in. Clutch does not slip at all anymore. Before, once you got to like 9,000 RPMs in like fourth or third, then it will just start slipping right there. But now it is perfect, no slippage. And overall, the bike came out really good. You can see this. I had these carbs on and off like 10 times, and this coating has held up great. I banged them all around and stuff, so I definitely recommend Cerakoting. Carbs are looking good. Filters somewhat fit, but they do fit. I even buffed the tank a little bit, and it looks pretty good in the sun. And let me show you how easy it starts with choke. Gotta give it a little throttle. It runs great. I am super excited with how it came out. I can't believe it. When driving it now, it doesn't bog down really, except for like around 3,000 RPMs, but I mean, you're basically lugging the engine that low. So you just downshift and go, it's fine. It doesn't bog down in the upper RPMs at all. And it's a pretty quick bike, it's nothing fast. Like, it takes a while to get to 100, and like once you're at 100, you're like, man, I don't want to go faster than that on this thing. But you know, it's a good around town bike, back roads, stuff like that. It's really fun actually, I'm very surprised. I thought I was not gonna like it too much, but I actually like it quite a bit. After 40 years, this thing is now roadworthy. This thing, my grandpa picked up at an auction for like $20, so if he didn't buy it, it'd probably go to somebody else, and I don't know what would happen to this thing, but now it's back on the road. And yeah, hopefully it's on the road for a while. Everything is practically new that needs to be new, and it's running and driving great. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I have a lot more cars coming up. I'm always buying cars, and I have another bike coming up too that's more of a cafe racer style one. I decided to buy a cafe racer style one because this one, I don't want to chop it up and go into all that. That'd be way too much work for this thing. So look forward to that, and plenty of car videos coming soon. Thanks for watching.
Where's he going?